name's Travis Sims, and I am the founder and CEO of AGC Accelerated Global Connections. And this is the AGC Experience.
Our lives are a series of choices. Each choice leads to a result. Would you like to easily know which choices are the right life choices for you? If you've never met Amy Tyson, owner of Infinity Life Design, make it a priority to connect with her. Amy is a master of feng shui and batzi, which she calls destiny analysis. She assists her clients in understanding the hidden forces that are influencing their lives. A destiny reading with Amy is like reading a book all about you. She highlights which decisions will bring you to your fullest potential and which choices will lead you down a path of obstacles. If you're struggling with a challenge or you want to lift your life even higher, get connected with Amy and Infinity Life Design on facebook.com/infinitylifedesign or subscribe to her online newsletter at infinitylifedesign.com and connect with your infinite life.
Hello, everyone. Yes, that's right. It's me. It's Travis Sims, and I am the founder and CEO for AGC Accelerated Global Connections and the host of the AGC Experience podcast show. And today I'm taking this rare opportunity to take control of my own podcast. And normally we share entrepreneurs, business owners, salespeople, people who are sharing their passion, their why, and really what makes them great at what they do and why they love doing what they do. And I absolutely love interviewing amazing quality people. But today I decided to take control of my own podcast. That's right. But before I get into the reason why, first of all, we want to thank you for listening. We want to thank you for watching. No matter where you're tuning in to the AGC Experience podcast show, we want to say thank you. Not only say thank you for tuning in, but saying thank you for hitting the subscribe button. That's right, so that you can continue to get that content over and over again, as well as thank you for sharing us with others. We now have over 2,000 downloads on this podcast, and it's still a relatively new podcast. And so thank you so much for you and your ability to share us with others. We're now getting listeners and watchers from all over the country and all over the world, and it is thanks to you. So now let's get into the why. Why, Travis, are you taking control of your own podcast? Well, I had a message today that I wanted to share with each and every one of you. And that's because coming up tomorrow, to be exact, as you're listening to this podcast, tomorrow is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. And if you're in the United States, you know that is Election Day. That's right, Election Day for the United States. And it is a huge election. It's a presidential year. And this election has been just on everyone's lips all the way through it. And so I wanted to take some time and I wanted to talk a little bit about being and staying politically correct in business. Because politics have been such a hot topic right now in the United States and probably around the world for that matter. And it's a topic that everyone's talking about and everyone wants to know, what is your view on politics? And I've been in business for a long time. I've been in networking for over 15 years now. And there's one thing I know, and that is that the more vocal you are about your political views, the more often that you separate yourself from your potential customers. Yes, wait a minute. Did you hear what I just said? That's right. The more vocal you are about your politics, the more likely you are to separate yourself from your potential customers. And not only your potential customers, but your current customers and your referrability. So let's talk this through for just a moment and why this topic is so important as business owners and salespeople. And I'm going to quote Michael Jordan in this. And Michael Jordan, and if you've ever watched Michael Jordan in, it was a series on, I think it started out on ESPN and then it eventually went to Netflix. And in this particular interview, it was in The Last Dance. It was a series that published there. And in this particular interview, they asked Michael Jordan, said, you know, he actually told this story about how everyone wanted him to support this particular candidate, and it was an African American candidate out of a southern state. And if I remember right, it was for Senate. And if I remember right, he would have been the first African American person to be elected to the Senate. And so everyone wanted Michael Jordan to endorse this candidate. Even his own mother came to him and said, you know, this would be really a good thing, Michael. If this would be good for you, it'd be good for our country. It'd be good for you to come out and support this candidate. It would be huge for us. And Michael Jordan, I remember watching this interview, and he said, "Can't do it. My role is not to share my political views, but my role is to play basketball." He said, "I'm a basketball player." And, you know, he said, Republicans buy shoes and Democrats buy shoes. And he said, just can't do it. And he didn't, you know, and the world's changed a lot since Michael Jordan was playing professional sports. And, you know, people will say that now more than ever, you need to have a voice, right? And I agree that it's okay to have a personal view on your particular politics and what you think about what is happening in the world. I get it. Everyone does. However, I want you to think about that if you are a leader, if you are a CEO, if you are an executive, if you are a small business owner, your own personal brand and the brand of your company. And when you come out and promote and share and be vocal about what your political views are, you're cutting off 50% of your referrability, 50% of your current customers, 50% of your potential customers are now cut off because you vocally chose a side. And, you know, if you're on social media, you're going to see that so many people are endorsing their favorite candidate. Well, here's the thing, right? Come at the end of this election, when they finish tallying the votes and someone is elected, no matter which side it is, it doesn't matter which political candidate gets actually elected to office, 50% of the people's candidate didn't get elected to office. And there's going to be people upset. And there's going to be people that will choose not to do business with you because of your vocal choice in a candidate, your vocal choice in your views. And I know, and I'm not saying, I mean, you get to choose. You totally get to choose on this. If your views, political views, are so important to you that you would rather share them, then go ahead and do so. However, you might find that not everyone, and I can't, and maybe you can, I don't know, but I can't afford for 50% of my potential customers to go out the door. Just can't afford to do it, because here's what happens, right? It's not only, you know, the current customers and potential customers and so on. It's not only that they will choose not to do business with you because of your views, but they will tell others and they will be vocal about it. Well, here's why I won't do business with Travis. Here's why I won't do a membership with AGC. And not only that, but here's not only the reason I won't do it, but here's the reason you shouldn't do it either. And they will share with you and they'll unload all the reasons why that you shouldn't do business with them. People become vocal, they become passionate around these things. And I just want you to consider for a little while when it comes to business, right? You can have your own personal views. And when it comes to business, it's important to stay neutral. It's important to just stay quiet, let them have it, let other people argue about it, and stay neutral and stay positive. Most people, unless you are extremely close to me, I mean, very inner circle. I'm talking my wife, my absolute closest friends would ever know my views on politics, sex, or religion. Very, very few. Most people have no clue how I would vote, what religion I am, if I am in religion, what my views are on any hot topics. Most people have no clue. And it's because I choose to keep those things private. Now, that's my personal choice. It's my personal view on this. And I'm not saying that you have to make the same choices that I do. And you may extremely disagree with everything that I'm sharing with you. However, as a networking coach, as an expert in networking, helping people build networks, their networking communities. I'm going to say that when you're working to build a community, the importance of staying neutral on these topics is extremely important. If you are very vocal, you'll attract the people that agree with you. You'll detract the people that disagree with you, and you might be okay with that. However, again, most businesses can't survive on 50% of the population. Just can't do it. And if you can, that's great. I totally get it. If your views are more important than your income, I totally get it and understand it. Just be prepared. Just be prepared that it could hurt your reputation. You see, reputation, and whether it's your personal brand, your company brand, it matters in the marketplace for your business. It just does. And it will help people make up their minds whether they not only want to do business with you, but whether they want to be friends with you, whether they want to be associated with you, whether they want to be known as someone that is around you. I mean, it just totally happens. I'm sure you have decided at some point that you're going to unfollow someone, or that you're going to even unfriend someone based upon their political views or based upon their hot topic views around something. You're like, you know what? I don't need to see this. I don't want to see this because I completely disagree with it. Do you think that anyone's ever done the same for you? Are you willing to risk it? We're living in unusual times. We're living in just unprecedented times. And people right now, the tension is high. And, first of all, there's a lot of people that have very little money to spend, and they're going to spend it with people that they align with, people that they agree with. And keeping your political views and your hot topic views neutral may allow you to do business with more people, allow you to network with more people, allow you to have relationships with more people. Now, I'll tell you, I'm someone, and I think this is a rarity in today's age. Now, I might be completely wrong, but I'm finding is the more that I pay attention to what's happening on social media, where most of the population is interacting. I mean, let's just face it, we're in a pandemic, we're 7 months in, almost 8 months in, and people are interacting more on social media than they are in person. Matter of fact, they're saying things on social media that they would never say in person, right? I mean, it's that thing about, I'm going to be bold, I'm going to be vocal, I'm going to say things on social media because I'm behind my keyboard, I'm in my home office, and my bravery, my confidence level has risen to the top. And I would never have said those things in person, in front of you, face to face, eye to eye, toe to toe. So people get braver behind their computer screens, and they start typing away. And it's even more it's more extreme than that, right? It's not just when they're in front of their computer, it's when they pick up their phone, right? In an instant on the phone, they can make a post, they can share a post, They can share a view instantly, and it goes out to thousands of people, thousands. This is why we should never do social media after midnight. Even after 10 p.m., I'm going to say, hey, probably not a good idea. Probably shouldn't do social media after a drink or 2 drinks, right? Maybe you're going to get a little bit more bolder, a little bit more confident, and share more than you should because of those couple drinks, or because it's late at night, or any of those things. And it can happen so fast. This is how reputations get ruined. This is how, even huge figures, talking celebrities, talking about political figures, you're talking about people in the world that millions of people follow. Here's a good example. Maybe you are not a country music fan, but I bet you've heard of the Dixie Chicks and their views on politics, and how they were at the height of their career, and the views that they shared plummeted them till they lost their label, they lost their fan base, they lost everything based upon sharing their political views. It's a great example. Now, you might think, I'm not the Dixie Chicks, I'm not a celebrity, I'm not someone that people are going to care that much about. And that may be true. You may not be reaching masses of millions of people when it comes to your views on politics. However, I bet you're doing local business. I bet you're doing business with your friends. I'm betting you're doing business with your family, with your local people in your local chamber, people inside AGC, inside other networks like Master Networks and others. And you rely on that business to stay in business. Like, you need to be referable. You're out looking for referrals. You're networking for a reason, and that is to grow your business. Don't let your views get in the way of your growth, okay? And, it's just important that you stay neutral on these topics in order to be able to do business with everyone. I never want someone to say, I'm not going to do business with Travis because of his personal views. You see, your brand matters. And it's not just your company's brand, but it's your personal brand that matters. And so think about how many times that someone has been fired from a company based upon what they put on social media. Now, some would argue that, well, hey, they were on their own time, and it is their own views. I remember, now this will tell you how old I am, okay? I remember when MySpace was a thing. And MySpace was probably one of the first peek into what really social media was to become. And I remember having this conversation way back then, way back when MySpace was popular. And I would hear people say, well, I can put whatever I want on there. It's my space. I get to decide, what gets on there. And if you disagree with it, so be it. It's my space. So MySpace is, I think, long gone. And other things have evolved, like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and, LinkedIn and so on. And all these spaces live out there. The thing is that they live out there forever. So when you share that post, when you share that tweet, and it's there, and it's there forever for everyone to see and always. Do you really want to have those kind of disagreements? Do you want to have those arguments? What you share here, even though it's in your personal space, your personal social media, it will reflect on your business brand. That much I promise you. This is why all the time people get fired from a job where they put something on social media and it damaged the reputation of the company. Now, you might be thinking, and you might be saying right now, well, Travis, I own my company. I'm a business owner. I'm a solopreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. No one can fire me from what I do. And I'm going to say, yes, they can. Oh, wait a minute. I'm the owner. I can't be fired. Yes, you can. You can be fired by your customers. You can be out of business because your customers choose no longer to do business with you. You can be fired, even as an owner, as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur. And I just want to share with you the importance of knowing that, hey, if you can't afford to give up 50% of your customers, if you can't afford to give up 50% of your potential customers, if you can't afford to give up 50% of your referrability as you're out networking and you're building networks, then choose silence, choose neutral. If you need an outlet or someone to share with, choose your spouse, choose your closest inner circles to have those conversations with. Remember, as we go out now, and tomorrow is election day in the US, I will encourage you to vote. I'll encourage you to use your voice. And that's the most I will say about politics, and that is vote. Make sure you go out and vote. Just don't share who you voted for. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my advice. That's my thoughts on staying politically correct while in business. You've been listening to or watching the AGC Experience podcast in this rare moment where I took the opportunity in my own podcast to share my thoughts about helping you stay referable, helping you stay in business by keeping those thoughts and those hot topics away from the way that you practice business. I want to say thank you to you that are listening. Thank you to you that are watching. I want to say thank you for sharing. And I want to encourage you right now to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Every single week, we interview business owners, salespeople, and entrepreneurs. And we teach you how to build networks, how to do networking, and how to build communities while you're doing business on the AGC Experience podcast show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.